Hello, it's Jackie here. How are you? I want to take you through a little bit of an experiment today. It's really fun, quite profound. The first time I did this years ago, boy, did it smack me in the face and really gave me pause to consider things on a level that I hadn't before. So let's see how you find this. This is an experiment that really shows you the complex and layered entanglement process that is there between your mind and the mind that produces thoughts, and how those thoughts are entangled with and connect to every single part of your body. Every single part. There's not a part of your body, a cell, an organ, a system, an endocrine gland, a microbe, that those thoughts do not be immediately, simultaneously connected to and impacting. It's a ripple effect that happens whether you are aware of it or not, whether you're watching it, observing it or not, and happens regardless. So why not then really understand it better so that we can make not only better decisions for ourselves, but so that we can see the ripple effects from those thoughts. So let me take you through this. When I was having therapies years and years and years ago, acupuncture, Bowen therapy, massage, I would have practitioners that would say to me, Jackie, you need to drink water. After your treatments, you need to drink more water. And I would give it lip service and say, yep, no problems. But I wouldn't. I was really quite bad on that. And it wasn't until I stepped into this giant field of integrated healthcare and I started learning about cellular hydration, how the cell membrane needs to be permeable to water, and la 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 la. That all the light bulbs started going off for me, and I was like, oh, now I know. Now I know why hydration at a cellular level being used by the body in the appropriate way. I get why it's such a big deal now, and I also get why they said that. But one of the things for me that was always missing is them taking me on a journey and explaining to me why is that important? What does this actually mean? What's it going to look like? What's it going to do? What's the result going to be for me? So my method or my approach to being a practitioner has always been massively focused around education, because I don't want to come and just facilitate sessions for you or teach wonderful courses for you or hold space for you in coaching sessions or whatever. I want you to journey into understanding who you are and why you're currently like that, and what that means for you, and what could change, and how it would change, and what that would look like for you, to really begin to understand how friggin' powerful we are. And we're way more powerful than what anybody recognizes. We're so underestimated ourselves. So let me take you through this exercise that just brings in a huge amount of body awareness. All right. Okay, so this experiment is really about bringing just more awareness to understanding the impact that the thoughts have immediately on the physiology of every single cell and every microbe that makes up your gorgeous body. All right, we first need to establish a baseline. So you can do this seated, or you can do it standing up. For the purpose of me being able to sit in front of the screen and do this where I don't go out of focus, I'm going to stay seated. If I stand up, my camera is going to jump all over the place because I have a tendency to move around too much when I'm standing up. So let's go ahead and do this. Grab yourself in a nice, comfortable position. And you're going to be going through a few range of motion testing. just to establish where you are right now as far as your mind-body connection and how that is showing up in the physical body, how that shows up in the way that all your cells are currently functioning in this second, and what the consciousness is that is getting expressed from each one of those cells. So it's not just the physiology of the cell that's going to be changed through this experiment, but every single cell has its own consciousness expression as well. And you'll see as we go through and you notice the changes through the experiment, it's not just the physiology changes you'll be noticing, but you'll be noticing that the energy changes in the cell, the consciousness expression changes in the cell, because it can't not. We can't not have a change on the physical level without there being change on an energetic level, on the consciousness level inside every single cell. And that might be another video that we do another day, is understanding that a cell is not just a physical process, an anatomy and physiological process going on. There is so many different types of energies and frequencies and harmonics happening just for that one cell, let alone cell to cell. And every single cell has its own consciousness expression. So just by us doing this exercise today and bringing a lot of awareness to the way that the power of your thoughts impact your physical body, but you'll be creating great change in the energetic functioning aspects of the cells in your body, and also in the consciousness expression as well, without us even having to talk about it too much. So let's establish the baseline. The first thing I want you to do is put one of your arms out to the front. It can be any arm, it doesn't matter. We're going to be doing both anyway. And I need you to just start raising your arm going up to the ceiling. But I want you to stop when it hits resistance, okay? So bring it up. And whenever you notice resistance, just stop. Now, we're not analyzing. We're not making judgments. We're just doing it. We're going to be observers, okay? We're just watching them. The other one goes out. And now we're going to take that one up above as well. And we're going to take it all the way until it hits resistance. And then you'll rest it back down again. The next one that I want you to do is out the side of the body. I was just checking through my mental checklist. You're going to be going out from the side of the body. So one of your arms is going to be going from the side all the way up, well, until you hit resistance, all right? So going up and all the way till you meet resistance. And it doesn't matter where the resistance is, just notice it, stop, and rest. Let's do the other side. And we'll go up. I remember I did this with a client a few months ago, and I got to just over here somewhere before I hit resistance. And my rule of thumb now is, oh, that's interesting. That's all I say every time. Oh, that's interesting. And it stops allowing my mind from going into the headspace of, what's that all about? And why is it like that? And I wonder what happened with that. And oh, I did that thing yesterday. And don't let mind do that at all. Okay. So we're just establishing some things that we want to observe. Now, we're going to work with the head, and we want to take our head to the shoulder. So we're going to be going over to the side, any side, and just go to meet resistance. You might even notice that the shoulders try to come up and meet you. That doesn't matter. And then do the other side. And just observing, and then rest, let it go. Now we want to do where the head looks, and we're going to be turning to the side. Any side that you want. So I'm going to be going to the left first until you get to resistance. And then come back to the center point when you've done that, and then go to the other side. And you just observe. Some might be easier, some might be different. Now we're going to be looking up with our head until we get to the resistance point. And relax. And now we want to look down, bringing our head and chin down. Great. So store that information. That's your baseline. Now what I want you to do is take your mind into memory mode. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you now to remember a time when you were really uncomfortable or life was really challenging. It was very difficult. Maybe you were struggling with something. So just take a moment to close your eyes, search through your memory banks, and come to one that was quite impactful, a time in life where it was difficult or you're struggling. You might want to pause here, right? If you're looking through, if you've got one, let's move forward. So I'm going to do that as well. Imagining a time in life when life was challenging, where there was a struggle, something difficult I was going through. And I want you to really connect with it through all your five senses. I want you to see it. See that time. See as much of it as you possibly can. So all the factors surrounding it. I want you to hear what that was like as you taste nice big deep breaths in and out. I want you to notice if there's any smells that you notice from that memory. And I want you to get in touch with the feelings of that time. What does that feel like to you? So we're engaging as much of our five senses as we can with this memory of yours. What did that feel like? What did it look like? What did it feel like? And now we're going to go through this range of motion, testing again. Taking your arm, extending it out in front of you, and remembering this time for you, you're going to be raising the arm up and then stopping when you meet resistance. And rest your arm down, switching to the other one. Keep your eyes closed if you need to get in contact with this time in your life of struggle. And we're going to raise the other one up till it meets resistance. And rest it back down. We're going to be taking our arm out to the side and we're going to be raising it up until it meets resistance. And resting, and with the other one, really connecting with that memory. And resting. Now we're going to do your head that goes down towards your shoulder on one side. Just till resistance, and then release it. And then we're going to do the other side. Remembering this time in your life. The more you can connect with it, the better. Then you've done the other side. Now we want to do your head looking to the left. Till you meet resistance. Then bring it back to the center. Now we'll do the other side. Now bring it back to the middle. Now we're going to be looking up to the sky. And bring it back to the center. And now we're going to be looking down, remembering this particular time in life. And relax. So that shows you how the thoughts that were getting created at that moment was showing up in those range of movement exercises. Now, what I want to do is take you into a very different time of your life, all right? As we're going through this, there's no judgment whatsoever. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go into a time of your life when you were really happy, where life was joyful, life was easy, maybe you're feeling really good, you're at a really good spot in your life. So take a moment, really connect with that and connect with it with all your five senses again. So now you're going to a time in life when things were really good, when you were really happy. Breathe it in, breathe in that good experience, that great time of your life when you were happy. And we're going to start by taking our arm out, extending in front of us, and we're going all the way to the top until we meet resistance. So let's go. Remembering that time in our life where you were happy, and relax when you've reached that point. With the other one, if you find that you just lose connection with the memory, just pause for a second, connect back in with it, hear it, feel it, smell it, taste it if you can, touch it. And with your other arm, we're going to extend up until it meets resistance. And relax. Now we're going to do our arm out to the side, going all the way up until it resists. I'm going to connect in just to this great time of life. And relax. Other side. And we're going up. And relax. Now we're going with the head down towards the shoulder. And coming to the middle again. Now we'll go down the other side, connecting with this great time in life where you were happy, things were going well, joyful. Coming back to the middle. Now we're going to be looking to the left. And coming back to the middle. And we're going to be looking to the right. And looking to the middle. Now we're going up to the sky, looking all the way up, thinking about this happy time in life. And coming down. And then bringing the chin all the way down. And all the way to the middle. So that was our 3 different run-throughs of that range of motion. The first one was your baseline. So how you were set up to be functioning and resonating when you first came into meeting me here in this video. Then we first connected with something that was tough, hard, a lot of strain, a lot of contractive energy. Did you notice how there was difference between your baseline and your baseline run through and your second one when you were connecting with something really difficult in your life? Now, if your baseline today is also what your a time when you're really struggling and there's difficulty, you might find that there's not much of a difference between those. They might actually be very similar because it's very much your now experience. But I wonder what you noticed between your second run through and your third run through, between your mind focusing on thoughts of difficulty and challenge and hardship compared to the mind focusing on thoughts of joy and when life was easy and when things felt really good? What was the difference? So every single time for me, when I do this exercise, I notice every single time that there is the resistance in every single one of those range of motion testing shows up a lot sooner for me than it does when I'm focusing on a joyful moment of time from my life. The resistance not only shows up quicker when I'm focusing on challenges or difficulty or something quite harsh or negative, right? Not only did the resistance show up quicker, but also I could feel it. I very much could feel it in the tension, in a little bit of pain, in an overstretching. It wasn't a nice feeling at all. So that contraction, that tension is all the way through the body. It's not just in the muscles where the mind tends to think, oh, it just shows up in the muscles or it just shows up in the skeletal system. No, those thoughts are connected to every single cell. So that tension and resistance was showing up in every single one of your organs, in your heart, your lungs, your liver, your gallbladder, your diaphragm, your small intestine, large intestine, spleen, in all your hormone glands, in all your hormone tissue, in all your microbes. Every single one of those thoughts that created resistance was resistance that was showing up in every single part of your body. So then one of the wonderful things that you can start to do is to recall memories very, very often of when you were in a really good place, when there were wonderful things happening in your life. And what that does is it not only creates the instantaneous response within the body, which then promotes a lot more health, a lot more harmony, much better communication throughout the body. But it instantly helps to co-create a reality and a future for you that is much more in joy, that is much more at ease, that is much more positive, that has just so much more flow to it. It is incredibly important to consider what you're putting your thoughts to, because it's not just a matter of you recalling your own moments in time and whether they are from hardship or whether it is from a great time in your life, but it also is very important when you consider the conversations that you are allowing yourself to have with people. It's the things that you're digesting when you're reading things. What's the quality of it? Is it positive or is it negative? Because that creates thought. You're engaging with it and it creates instant thought, and that instant thought creates instant physiological changes, and you're then suffering as a consequence of that. So be an advocate for yourself. Be your own best cheerleader as to what it is that you are prepared to listen to speak about, to consume, as far as what is on TV or media or through people's conversations, or even just when you're using your imagination. What are you using your imagination for? Is it to envisage a now experience or a future experience that is full of connection and bonding and love and joy and wonder and positivity and things going right? Or is it the other? Because if it's the other, you know what the experience is going to be. And if it's the positive one and the one that is full of potential and joy and wonderful, wonderful experiences, well, you know what the response from that is going to be as well. Okay. So that's a great experiment to keep coming back to remind yourself how powerful your thoughts are. And it's a practice. Don't go hard on yourself. Don't get all crabby at yourself because you've just realized that you spent the last 10 minutes thinking about something really shitty that happened, 10 years ago. Don't worry about that. It's an absolute waste of your time. All right. Just reset, refresh, and start off again in putting your thoughts to and imagining whatever it is that you feel most aligned with, and that is going to bring great responses into the body so that the body can function healthier and healthier and healthier. All right. So I wonder what your experience was from today's experimentation. You can share it into the comments below. If you would like to book a session with me, you can do that by going online to my website, jackiemcintyre.com. I would thoroughly recommend joining up for my newsletter, which I send out once a week or a fortnight, depending on what's going on, where you get juicy, videos and articles and lots of cool stuff coming out that way. And I also, because I produce so many videos, would highly recommend that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notifications bell before you leave. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.